Hey everyone, it's Mr. Fleece here, and today I want to teach you how you can use construction paper to cut a mat for an 18 by 24 inch drawing. Let's get in it. Wow! Okay, so some of the things we're gonna need right away is we're gonna need a yardstick or a meter stick, and we're gonna need a pencil. So that way we can measure and cut our paper to size. We are cutting this mat for an 18 by 24 inch paper, which means we're gonna add 4.5 inches to both sides so that our final cut will be 22.5 times 28.5. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna measure. Our paper is a rectangle, so the longest is going to be the length, and then the shortest side will be the width. Our length is 28.5 inches. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our yardstick down here with the 1, and we are going to make sure that we are using the yardstick on inches side. So this is centimeters, this is inches, so we're using the inches side. You're gonna place the edge of the yardstick right to the edge of your paper, just like so. Okay, once you have it lined up, now we're gonna go to 28.5 inches. And we're gonna place our mark at 28.5. This is the 28-inch line, and this indicates, this longer line in the center indicates a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna place a tick mark at 28.5 with our pencil, just like so. And now I'm gonna go to the top of the paper and do the same thing. Line up that edge with the end and mark at 28.5 inches. Now I have my 2 pencil marks, one here and one up here. I'm gonna take my yardstick and I'm gonna line my yardstick with the edge of my pencil mark on both sides, the top and the bottom. Then I'm gonna hold the yardstick stable so that way I can draw a nice straight line at 28.5 inches. This small piece we're gonna cut away and we will not need. Now we're gonna measure the width of our base is 22.5. I'm gonna turn my paper so that way I can measure the width and repeat the same process as before. I'm gonna line my yardstick up to the edge of the paper, just like so. And then I'm gonna go to 22.5 inches and make a mark. There's my pencil mark right there. Now I'm gonna go to the top and do the same thing. Line it up at the edge and mark at 22.5 inches. Then I'm gonna line my yardstick up with each pencil mark just like before, and I'm gonna draw a line from one side all the way to the other. Make sure that you draw from one end of your paper to the other. These 2 little spaces, this space and this space, we're discarding, so we can put an X. You do not need those 2 pieces. This big rectangle in the center is what we're going to use to mat our artwork. So now that we have those marked, we're going to cut the excess away using an X-Acto blade. So I take my cutting board, I'm going to lay it underneath my artwork here where I plan to cut. I'm going to make my first cut on the big side. I'm going to tilt my X-Acto blade at a 45-degree angle like we learned in the X-Acto blade video, and I'm going to run a slice right along that pencil line. Now your cutting mat isn't big enough to go all the way, so you're going to have to slide your paper up, start where the cut is, and then continue your cut all the way. Then we can take and get rid of this excess. Now we're going to do the same thing on the thin side. Run my cut for as long as I have cutting mat, slide my paper back up onto my mat. Bam. Now this piece is going to be the piece that we use to mat our artwork. So now that you have your base cut, we're gonna take and we're gonna measure the border. We're gonna measure a 2 3/4 inch border. This is the half mark, and then this little bit longer line right here is the quarter mark. So there's 1/4, half, and 3/4. We're going to make a pencil mark at the 2 3/4 mark on our paper. So I'm gonna lay down my yardstick, make sure it's up against the edge of my paper, and I'm gonna mark at 2 3/4. Then I'm gonna go to the top and mark at 2 3/4 the same. Once you have your mark at the top and the bottom, you're gonna line your yardstick up with the 2 marks, just like we did when we were cutting our paper to size. And then we're going to draw a line all the way through our paper, just like so. That creates a nice 2 3/4 inch border. Then I'm just going to rotate my paper, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Yardstick up with the edge, mark at the 2 3/4 mark, and then I'm going to come up to the top and mark at the 2 3/4 mark. Line my yardstick up with the 2 marks, and I'm going to draw a line all the way through, just like that. So now I have 1 side, 2 sides. I just need to rotate, and I'm gonna complete the process again. 2 3/4, 2 3/4, line it up, make your mark. Rotate my paper one last time. 2 3/4, 2 3/4, line it up, and make my mark. Now that I have all 4 sides measured, I'm going to start the cutting process. I will need a mat board and an X-Acto knife. Place my mat board underneath, and we're gonna start our cut right here where the 2 lines cross. So I'm not gonna start on the edge of my page, I'm gonna start right here, place my knife, and I'm gonna cut right along there until I run out of my cutting mat. I'm gonna slide it up, continue the cut until I hit where those 2 lines cross. So I'm not actually cutting all the way off like we did when we cut our paper to size, because this is going to be our border. Then I'm going to rotate, start where the 2 lines meet, tip my blade at a 45, run my cut until I run out of my cutting mat, slide it up, continue my cut. Then I'm going to rotate once more, rotate once more, until I've gone on all 4 sides. Okay, so now we've finished our cut. We're going to take our X-Acto blade, place it back into the cup, blade down. We can pull our cutting mat out from underneath and put that away. And then we can take that center rectangle out. We're gonna use this, so don't get rid of it. And now you have your border for your artwork. The side that has the pencil markings is the back of your mat. So I'm gonna take and I'm gonna rotate my mat this way, just like so. And then I'm gonna take my artwork and I'm going to position it on the mat. Remember, pencil markings is the back. So I'm gonna flip my artwork over and I'm going to lay it on top of my border. And I'm gonna make sure that you cannot see the table through any side of my mat. That means that your mat is positioned correctly. It's going to overlap your artwork just a little bit. See that? That's what's going to hold your artwork in the frame. Once you know your artwork is where it's supposed to be, we're going to take that piece we cut out and we're going to lay it back on top of our artwork just like this. This is going to protect the back of your artwork and add a little bit more stability. Using masking tape, we are going to seal all the edges on all 4 sides, sealing our artwork into the construction paper mat like so. Then I'm going to rotate and I'm going to go around all 4 sides. Just like so, and that is going to hold my artwork into my frame. Once you have it taped, you can flip it over and view your artwork with the wonderful mat border all the way around. Really finishes the piece and makes it look nice and clean. One last step before submitting your artwork for presentation is to add a name label. Okay, so we're gonna complete the name label. So you would write your name here. I'm just gonna put student, as the student wants to remain anonymous. Example, whatever title you wanna give your artwork, the artist is in charge of assigning a title to their artwork. Medium, for this, it's pencil or graphite. Class, drawing, and then today's date. Then using a little bit of glue, apply some glue to the back, and glue your name label to the back of the artwork. Anywhere on the back is fine, just like so. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. That's how we mat an 18 by 24 inch drawing paper with a construction paper mat. Remember when matting your artwork that you're matting it for presentation. So you want to make sure that you take your time, make sure that your measurements are correct and your cuts are precise. If your mat is cut incorrectly or assembled incorrectly, I'm going to ask you to cut another one because this can make or break your artwork. If you attach a poorly cut mat to your artwork's not going to look very good. The idea behind this is preparing it for presentation, and part of presentation is perfection. When this rolls out, it needs to look like it's ready to be displayed. So I'm challenging you to be very precise with your measurements and very precise with your cuts, as well as precise with the taping your artwork in, making sure that there's no gaps of light between your border and your artwork, making sure there's not jagged edges along your cuts. Those will make your artwork look really, really good for display. Good luck on your matting. I look forward to seeing the results. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.